18 have died so far, 4 since Friday.
The Pentagon identifying 28-year-old Sergeant Angel Rampersad of New York, who's believed to have been killed in last week's attack on a U.S. base in Jordan, and 30-year-old Sergeant Michael Swinton of North Carolina, killed during the detonation of an Iranian drone in Iraq. His wife telling ABC News, Swinton was an amazing husband and father to his 2 young children.
ABC's Karen Hua. The Northeast cleaning up after an evening of severe storms and tornadoes. ABC's Rhiannon Alley spending time at a busy airport.
These storms have really wreaked havoc on Northeast airports. More than 2,300 flights have been canceled, more than 500 of them right here at LaGuardia Airport. And we've seen more than 5,000 delays.
The CDC confirming more than 4,100 cases of that parasitic bacteria linked to iceberg lettuce. This is ABC's Jim Ryan.
The good news about cyclosporiasis comes from Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
We do have the outbreak under control.
The bad news for Taco Bell is that at least 4 lawsuits have been filed by people who say they caught the brutal stomach bug after eating at the fast food restaurant. Up the supply chain, says Kennedy.
We and the companies that are involved have implemented a recall.
The CDC is investigating nearly 7,000 confirmed or suspected cases of cyclosporiasis. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Official data from the Congo shows at least 999 people have died in the Ebola outbreak, which has been the fastest growing in history. As of Monday, nearly 2,500 cases had been recorded. The House moving to head off a potential government shutdown before the November midterms, passing a bill to fund the federal government through December 4th. You're listening to ABC News.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com.
News brought to you this hour by Lee's Old Country Store, Antiques and Collectibles, located on Highway 22 in Flora, a half mile west of 49 North.
Another day with an extreme heat warning. The high today is 98. The heat index is expected up above 110 again. So the National Weather Service says we are under an extreme heat warning in this part of Mississippi. And their advice, as always, is to stay out of the heat if you can and stay hydrated. You do have a 20% chance for an afternoon storm. Tonight, the low is 76 with a 20% rain chance. Thursday, you've got a 30% chance for afternoon thunderstorms with a high at 94. 94 again Friday with a 40% chance for afternoon storms. With news on 103.9 WYAB, I'm Chris Davis. Tropical storm Bertha could bring 40-mile-per-hour winds to parts of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Predictions have the tropical storm reaching Mississippi by Thursday morning with a tropical storm warning in effect. But that is expected to be confined to the coast and is not expected to provide us with much Gulf moisture here in central Mississippi. They tried it this year, but the bill didn't pass. So state lawmakers are trying again in the next legislative session to pass a bill that would allow them to fund only college courses in state-funded colleges and universities. That would make people a steady income. The person who died in a wreck that happened in a parking lot on Clay Street in Vicksburg Sunday night has been identified as 62-year-old Ruby Franklin. Police say that she had some kind of medical emergency while she was driving and that she hit what they describe as a fixed object in the parking lot. Most of the animals found by sheriff's deputies in Adams County at a property on Lily Lane did not have enough food or water, those deputies say, so they have charged 38-year-old Jeremy Johnson with 35 counts of animal cruelty. They say they found dogs, cats, chickens, and even a donkey. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
When you choose a natural diamond, you're choosing more than just a truly precious gemstone.
You're choosing a symbol of forever, formed deep within the earth over billions of years, not in a factory in China. I'm John.
And I'm Corey Ravenstein. At Juniker Jewelry Company, we understand the importance of legacy. We've been Mississippi's direct diamond importer for over 4 generations.
That's why we offer only natural diamonds, timeless treasures that become family heirlooms, passed down from generation to generation.
Every Juniker's natural diamond is hand-selected for its enduring beauty and brilliance, ensuring your story lives on in something truly exceptional.
Come shop the largest selection of gorgeous natural diamonds in the state. Every shape, size, and price range, all at the guaranteed best price in Mississippi.
From the Delta to the coast, more families trust Juniker's than any other jeweler.
Celebrate your love.
Honor your legacy.
Naturally. At Juniker's.
Juniker Jewelry Company, 1485 Highland Colony Parkway in Madison, and JunikerJewelry.com, Mississippi's direct diamond importer.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
Welcome to the Chip Matthews Show, where politics meets the South. So grab your sweet tea, find a comfortable spot to sit back, and let's embark on this journey together. Chip away,
Oh, and good. Wednesday morning. It is the Chip Matthews Show all over your radio. Good morning, Jeff Thomas, Shane Easley, Lloyd Travis, Phil Barlow. Oh, yes. No AC at my house and 114 degrees. That's impossible. It's impossible for it to be 114 degrees right now. Might be later on, but right now it's impossible. And let's see. Let's look at what does this say? Let's fact be known. Republicans drew my district. This is Benny Thompson on Facebook, y'all. This is Benny Thompson. You're congressman if you're in the 2nd district. And plus, if you live in half the state, half of the physical part of the state belongs to Benny Thompson. But anyway, let's read this. Let the fact be known, Republicans drew my district in Mississippi, and Republican-led legislatures drew many of the districts across the southern states. The same people calling these districts gerrymandering now are the very ones who drew them in the first place. The sad thing is that is correct. But you know, Benny, things can change. Things can change. And something that came across last night as I was watching shows about people that inherited things, you know, like old houses or whatever you inherit from someone. It was interesting to me that the conversation in my mind was, okay, so you inherit something, and then the people that are, like, for instance, one person is online had inherited a bunch of old programs from Ole Miss football games, let's say. And they had some like Ole Miss versus Chattanooga and some old stuff. And it means nothing to them because they had it up there. We're selling them for $5. Old programs, $5 framed. You know what it costs to frame something? It costs more than $5 to frame it properly. These things look like they had been framed properly. But you look at inherited stuff, people just don't care about it. You know, you inherit something and say, oh, that meant something to somebody else. It doesn't mean nothing to me. Well, that's kind of what's going on with our government, y'all. The government, you know, is inherited each time. You'll get somebody who wants to work real hard and become a politician, and he gets in office, right? And he means well. But every time he turns around, good morning, Vince Warren, and also the Culture Shock Ends Entertainment Report podcast. Every time, and Lloyd Travis, but every time you inherit something, the person that had it before you cared about it, and you care less and less about it in a lot of cases, you know, and that is what has happened to our cities and our government, because next man up is the next person elected. And if he comes in and everybody in his district just doesn't care anymore, they'll sell it for cheap. It'll go away. It's just a piece of garbage. What can I get for it? I can get $5 for it. I'll just sell it for $5. Well, I just won't work on it at all. Or somebody can just come pick it up. I don't want it anymore. You see that a lot with pianos online. There are pianos online for sale, and then there are pianos, just get it out of my house, all over Marketplace. I mean, you could find a piano every day of the week. You could find a piano if you wanted a free piano. And a piano used to be you don't see guitars being given away and stuff like that. But pianos, somebody cared for that. It's a lot of room. It's in the way. I need an 85-inch TV where that piano is. Let's get that out of here. That's what inherited. And that's kind of the same thing that's going on with our government. People, you don't want to go vote because you just don't care anymore. Good morning, JC Dunn. You just don't care. You inherited something and it doesn't mean anything to you. Now, some people will inherit things like you'll inherit some jewelry, and in your mind, you'll say, ooh, as a kid, you were looking at that piece of jewelry and you go, that's valuable. And it's valuable, but it also had value to the person that owned it. So when they described it, it had more value than it actually had. And that goes on. There's also some things where people downplay their value of something and it's worth a lot more. But what we have now is people are downplaying freedom. Nobody seems to care about freedom. That you've inherited freedom, you just don't care anymore. It doesn't really matter. You'll have some black folk talk about being a slave and this, that, and the other. And they were never a slave. They inherited freedom from their family. They inherited freedom from all the people that fought to get them freedom. And then once you inherit something, you need to relish it. You need to want to embrace it and let it be a part of your life. Good morning, Ricky Gray. I mean, look at the town of let's not Canton. Let's look at the town of Madison. Mary Hawkins inherited a city that was not a city. It was a dirt road, y'all. Madison was pretty much when I'd leave Jackson going to Canton, or let's say that I'd leave Fun Time Skateland North there in Ridgeland and come up 51. You had the Junior Food Mart and a half of a high school to the left. Is the way I looked at it. It would look like a small high school MR did to us from Canton. We're from the big city. And then as you come on up the road, you'd hit Sledges. And then there was nothing till you got to Leo. I think it was Lee's one stop there in Gluckstadt. It was just one right there on the left. And then you could roll on into Canton. Wouldn't be anything till Harold Chevrolet's big sign. That was the town I grew up in. Oh, wait, hold on. Don't forget Jim and Ann's across from was on the right across from back then, the Pentecost Travel Lodge, it's not, now it's known as the Tucker Travel Lodge, but back then James Pentecost, what was Mr. Pentecost? Was it James? Well, James was who I was in high school with. But anyway, Jack Pentecost, there you go. Come on, Chip. Jack Pentecost, his little travel lodge that he had there were at the old jail that was there forever and a day. But that was the way it was. And you inherit things. And like, for instance, as you look at government entities inherit buildings, and they inherit statues and stuff that people had. And then as time goes by, they decide that, that statue just doesn't mean anything. We're going to get rid of it. And so people just don't care about the things that they should cherish. And freedom is one of those things that we've given up on. I mean, part of being a Republican is supposed to be smaller government, this, that, and the other. That's not really the inherited vision of the current Republican Party. It should be reduced taxes, but we're so in need of making sure that we have everything, and we don't want it yesterday. We want it now. It's sort of like when you go in a restaurant now. A lot of people don't take the time. I mean, it used to be you walked in, you ordered your appetizers, you read over the menu, then you ordered your steak, then you ordered a menu, and then you ordered your dessert. Well, nowadays, people would rather put in their whole order right at the beginning because we want to get it all as quickly as possible, get in, get on, get out. That's the way the world runs now. We want it now. Everything is we want it now, and we need to figure out a way to slow down. But in this world, we'll never slow down again. You can forget that. Speed is where it's at. Speed kills, and that's what it was. My wife's ancestors were Lavenders from Canton. Well, yes, I know Ms. Lavender. Will Brown. Good morning. Yeah, the Lavenders. That was I remember them very well. I want to say, and then of course in Canton, if you start doing the math, everybody's kin to everybody. But yeah, I remember them. But Canton is a place where inheritance. There are some families that inherited some things and they're still intact, and then there's some people that inherit some things and the kids just didn't care and they let it go to crap. It's sort of like when you look at the original West Jackson and the areas around you go down West Capitol Street and look at that area. As when I was younger, it was nice, and now you can still see those great homes, great bones on some of those homes, and this, that, and the other. But those people gave up and moved to South Jackson. That was going to be the next big thing. They all moved to South Jackson and went, "Oh, this is not working." So they moved out of South Jackson to Rankin County. But until we start to cherish our freedom and what we have around us, it doesn't do you any good to keep moving and finding new places to plop down. You're only looking for the next safest place. I mean, it's sort of like in the caveman days, you wanted your cave to have everything, the creature conference, you drew pictures on the wall and everything, and that made it cool. But over time, you decided I didn't want to live in a cave. I bet a cave was a lot cooler than living in a wooden house, but the wooden house wasn't by the lake, And so that's the way it goes. We got to get back to caring about everything around us and everything that we were a part of growing up, and the things that you inherit, the things that should mean something to you. Family values are one of those things that people used to hand down. And that's one of the things we're missing now is family values being handed down. Cherish what you inherit, enjoy what you inherit, Maybe people in their will should start giving out freedom. Put that in there. Say, look, we got to give you freedom because you got to have freedom. Capitol Street, Jackson Zoo area is so blighted and sad looking. Once was so beautiful. Yeah. And look, you can get out there on the last part of Ellis Avenue right before you get to that. And that is the worst roads in the world. Well, I can't say that. There's more Jackson than just there, but right there, it's pretty damn bad for what used to be the it all of it all. And I mean, and that's a nice concrete road there. It's not some asphalt thrown down junk that they do these days in some places. Then of course, y'all be careful out there. 49 had a new buckle yesterday, and these buckles pop up every day, every time the world gets hot. Or is it every time? Well, we'll think about that. We'll be back with more right here on the Chip Matthews Show on WYAB. Or is it every time? Well, we'll think about that. We'll be back with more right here on the Chip Matthews Show.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is leveling up. A whole new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is now open at the Reservoir at Beethoven's Boardwalk in Ridgeland, right next door to Cock of the Walk. And the new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris will have all of your old favorites too, like the Acme Dynamite Balls and Garlic Knots, and the best specialty pizzas ever, like the Pig, the Sergeant Pepperoni, the Surf and Turf, and lots more. Come to the all-new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris location on the Res in Ridgeland, next door to Cock of the Walk.
Hello, I'm Gary Jolly from the Tractor Store. LS Tractor understands your passion for the land, and just like you, LS Tractor is committed to excellence and superior products. LS Tractor comes with a long list of standard features that are unmatched by other brands and backed with the LS commitment to provide exceptional customer service and satisfaction. You get a lot more for your money with the LS Tractor. Come to the Tractor Store in Richland to experience the LS difference. The Tractor Store in Richland.
As Christians, it's our calling to be faithful to Christ and obedient to the Great Commission. Our heart's desire and prayer to God is that through our efforts, many would receive and rest upon Christ alone as he is offered to them in the gospel. I'm David Strain, Senior Minister at First Presbyterian Church of Jackson, inviting you and your family to join us as we strive to fulfill that mission. We're located on North State Street in Jackson. Times of our services can be found at fpcjackson.org. You can also hear the good news about Jesus Christ each Sunday morning at 9:30 on 103.9 WYAB.
Hey, Flora, the farm store in Flora, fresh from the farm right here. The farm store in Flora, organic, local, clear. Locally sourced meats and vegetables too. Fresh produce every day, picked just for you. The farm store in Flora, fresh from the farm right here. The farm store in Flora, come see what's fresh today.
When it comes to protecting all the things that matter in your world, generations of folks in central Mississippi have trusted Allstate agent Mark Dwyron. Mark knows the right coverage with the right price, helps you feel secure and protected. For decades, Mark's been a trusted agent protecting you against mayhem that is unpredictable. And he's always just a moment away when you need him. Mark Dwyron. For auto, home, life, and more, you're in good hands with Allstate. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Remember when Saturday meant tackling 3 projects before lunch? Now you need a nap after buying the lumber. It doesn't happen all at once. Energy slips away a little at a time. Focus does too. The team at Live Better Men's Health and Wellness helps men get answers to low testosterone, fatigue, weight gain, and more. Because getting older is mandatory. Feeling old is optional. Learn more at livebettermen.com. That's livebettermen.com.
At Lakeshore Church, we believe the liberation of the soul is found only in Christ. Hello, I'm Jay Frazier, Senior Pastor at Lakeshore, inviting you to come and worship with us this week. We believe in the 3-cross concept of ministry, the cross of salvation, the cross of separation, and the cross of service, and we believe all of these crosses should be evident in our lives. We're at 6880 South Sidewell Road in Byram. For more information about the ministries, activities, and times of service, go to lakeshorecmc.org.
And be sure to listen to Lakeshore Church's weekly program, heard Sunday mornings at 8 on 103.9 WYAB.
Want insider tips on foundation repair, maintenance, and how to protect your biggest investment? Todd Sandridge, owner of Superior Foundation Services, will be dropping in this month for quick interviews with your favorite local hosts. Whether you're dealing with cracks, settling, or just want peace of mind, this is a conversation you don't want to miss. Superior Foundation Services, helping you stay on solid ground. Find them online at superior.ms. That's superior.ms.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here is your host, Chip Matthews.
It is the Chip Matthews Show on a Wednesday morning. Good morning to you. It's 6:23 a.m. Everybody going, Chip, you're up so early. Well, you got to get up to beat the heat. You got to get up, get out, and enjoy it. More people are getting up every day. And then this week, with it being back to school town, and all those poor people in Madison and Gladstad and in Madison County that are fixing to have to go through that ritual of back to school time and getting on Yandle Road. I would hate to be on Yandle Road in this weather, because it puts another hour and a half on your trip every day to deal with the school, to deal with getting around, to deal with getting from point A to point B. And, they're all talking about all the roads they're rebuilding in Madison County and all the people all the 5 or 6 different crews they brought in, and when they bid it out and everything going on. But when you look down on it and really just get into it, hold on. Now you got a guy that's going around checking for pothole inspection and this, that, and the other, and finding out we're paying for stuff that we're not getting. That's the way we do it in Madison County. We pay for it, whether we get it or not. That way we can say we did it. We spent $1 billion on redoing the potholes. Somebody went back and checked. They didn't build them. But everybody had a job. Everybody got paid that's in the job. And the person writing the checks or authorizing those checks, they vote on it. Those supervisors, they vote on paying the bills. Okay. And then the bills are offered to them by, I guess, the county administrator. And then I guess before that, it's the comptroller. So everybody decides to pay the bills. But when something, when they like the $2.7 million they lost a few years ago, and they still haven't arrested anybody or told anybody what happened to all that. And they kept saying they got some of the money back, but did they? Did they? Now you got more money going out for to different contractors on potholes and stuff that they have built, and sinkholes and stuff that they have fixed, and they've been paid for, but they went and inspected and they're not fixed. So what does that mean, y'all? I mean, an accounting for the dollars? I mean, there are people there that are elected into office that are supposed to be keeping up with it, and then they have a whole staff that they've hired. But the problem is everybody they hired is family members. The nepotism is just so running wild in Madison County politics that, especially in District 4 and 5, it just bogs it down. And then they're working their interwork relationships between the cities and the school governments in those areas, the Canton School District and, of course, the city of Canton. And then their relationship back and forth with them and the city of Camden and all of this, they hide everything going on. And then nobody's getting the work done. And if it's like, for instance, if you're a supervisor in Madison County, well, shoot, yeah, we'll give you a job at the Canton High School where you can shake hands with the kids every day and look like you're doing the Lord's work. But you're just really just hiding out. You're really just talking about doing things. You don't want to do the work. You're not going to do the work. You've been in office forever. You got your name hanging on buildings, and you're not dead yet. Y'all get mad about Trump putting his name on a building, and y'all got one. You Democrats up there in Camden have already got Paul Griffin's name on a building, and then you got Mr. Banks's name on the Emergency Operations Center there in Canton. I mean, come on, people. Come on. That makes no sense. And you want to bitch about things all the time. And, and then, of course, the bureaucrats running after they get their appointments from the governor and this, we got bureaucrats in Mississippi that are stepping out on a limb, in my opinion, and coming down on people and writing emails, threatening emails to businesses in the area. And it shocks me that someone would have the balls to do it that way, to write it in an email in this day and age. It's kind of like the stupidest thing a person could do, is just to say, if you don't do this, we're going to do that to you. From a director? From a director? We're going to get into that over the next few weeks because that's pretty interesting little story of what's going on there. And we have a lot of inside information. But the government should work. You've inherited a great job. You've inherited some great things around Mississippi, and we need to take care of them. And we need to develop in places that make sense to develop, not just because it's Uncle Joe's land over there. We're going to go put it on that piece of land. Data centers went up on a piece of land, and the question of the day on that plot, if it was so shovel ready, why did we have to use so many shovels to take in to half of another county to build it up? That roadbed there, when you'd go up toward Flora on the right, when you look at where they built the data center, that used to be probably 3 feet below the roadbed. And I would say now it's about 7 feet above the roadbed. And it's an entire city. There's so much dirt out there. It's pathetic. And, and it's still coming in, and they're still building. And that's good. Progress is good. And that's why when they needed to get going, the government was sitting up there saying, we got to get people who want to do construction jobs because we got to get some people that'll drive some dump trucks. We got to get some people that'll run some wire. We got people that'll do some work so that we can get these data centers built. And then, well, hopefully you've made enough money where you can retire. We'll be back with more right here on the Chip Matthews Show on WYAB. Well, hopefully you've made enough money where you can retire. We'll be back with more right here.
1039 WYAB.
In the heart of rural America, we know the value of an honest day's work. While the big corporate brands focus on their stock prices, Outlaw Light is focused on you. We're an independent American brand built on resilience. We don't preach or teach, we just brew. That means a high-quality, 105-calorie light beer at a price that respects your hard-earned dollar. For the patriots, the dreamers, and the doers, America deserves a new light beer. Grab an Outlaw. It's darn good beer.
Here is what real customers have to say about Roder's Plumbing Service.
This is Leah. I wanted to tell people what a wonderful job Roder's Plumbing did for me recently. I called, Chris Roder answered the phone. He had somebody out in no time. They fixed me real fast. I couldn't believe they came out here like that. That's all I can say.
Plumbing problems? You need Roder's Plumbing. Visit rodersplumbing.com today.
Dr. Mike Stonington here from Stonington Farm Grass-Fed Beef. Here in South Mississippi on Stonington Farm, our steers are grass-fed and grass-finished. No grain, no hormones, no antibiotics, no mRNA vaccines. Our grass-fed and grass-finished beef is straight from our farm to your table. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and at StoningtonFarm.com. That's StoningtonFarm.com with 2 N's. And we deliver every 4 weeks to the Jackson area. We are the grass-fed difference.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The U.S. and Iran keeping up their back and forth attacks. The American military hitting Iranian targets for an 11th straight night. Shipping through the Strait of Hormuz slowing down again. And now ABC News Chief Global Affairs anchor Martha Raddatz says,
new concerns emerging in the critical Red Sea. 2 oil tankers turning around after Iran-backed Houthi rebels threatened shipping traffic there. All of this spiking oil and gas prices.
President Trump this morning will attend the dignified transfer of remains of troops killed in the Middle East. The Northeast cleaning up after strong storms raced through the area, leading to thousands of flight delays. At least 4 lawsuits have now been filed against Taco Bell after lettuce at its restaurants was linked to the outbreak of a parasitic bug that's made thousands of people sick. Congressman Andy Biggs, a strong ally of President Trump, winning the Republican nomination in the Arizona governor's race. This is ABC News.
From a cabin on a creek to a field where the big bucks sneak. Oh, yeah! Tom Smith Land and Home. Find your place where your roots can grow. From hunting ground to your front door key, call the landman of Mississippi. Tom Smith Land and Homes. Yeah, the landman's who you need. Brought to you by Tom and Ellen Smith. Tom Smith Land and Homes. That's it.
Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association wants you to stay away from downed power lines. Downed power lines carry the risk of deadly electric shock, even if the broken wire is not sparking. If a wire is crossing a road or driveway, avoid the area and keep others away. If you see a downed power line, back away and call your utility company or 911. When you call, be prepared to provide the specific address or location of the downed power line so a repair crew can get there as quickly as possible. This safety message brought to you by Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association.
Greetings. I'm Dr. Benny Tate, president of the Congregational Methodist Church denomination in Florence, Mississippi, and the pastor of Rock Springs Church in Milner, Georgia, inviting you to attend one of our services this week. Find a church near you at cm-church.org and be sure and listen for our weekly program, Apples of Gold from Rock Springs Church, here on 103.9 WYAB.
Sundays, 7:30 and 10.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews
Matthews Show, and here is your host, Chip Matthews.
It is the Chip Matthews Show, heard around the world and even in your neighborhood, right here in Mississippi and all over the world, right there in the Iran. They're listening to me this morning. Good morning. Good morning. We're going to bomb the hell out of you today. Yes, Iran. Iran, we're coming. You know, they're on Capitol Hill. They're coming after Pete Pete saying, you know, Pete, you need more money to do this, this, and this. And Pete says, I just need to buy new bombs. I need to buy new bombs. But they're going to say, but you know, if you've got something, you need to go ahead and use it. Daring him. They're saying, end it, win it, end it. You know, and once they do that, there won't be any more fun for the Democrats. I mean, if you end the war, that's it. And you know, and everything is political. Everything is political. So they're on Capitol Hill. They keep coming after the president. Every time they mess with the president seems to get stronger. You can say he's crazy, this, that, and the other, and he just gets stronger every time. You know, and so when you look at that and you go, well, let's start attacking the little people. So they go after Hedgepeth and they go after Kennedy. Kennedy, they're blaming this Mexican outbreak of lettuce, where Mexico has attacked us with lettuce, which I think Hedgepeth needs to go down there and just blow up all their fields and say, I've got to help you out here, Kennedy, because they're attacking us with warfare, that with the lettuce. I mean, you know, it's sad to think that in America we have food insecurity. And you know, when I first started at this station, you had Jameson Haygood telling you about it. Clay had started to work here at that time. He had just started out, and he was like hunkering down and buying REs, is that what they call them? The military meals, and putting them up and having a supply of food. But y'all, that's a reality. That's a real reality. To think that lettuce could take out half of America. Lettuce, people. And then they got the screwworm going on in the cows, running up the prices of the cows. Come on, people. Go on, Jenny. It's ridiculous to think that we could be attacked this way. And meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, with nothing else to do in their life, the Democrats are sitting there attacking Kennedy and attacking Hedgepeth on the war. Going, hey, you can't be doing this, you can't be doing that. Why don't you just, if y'all so damn tough, you're one of us. I hope Democrats are supposed to be part of America. And you know, if he wants to go blow them up, look, we could blow it all up. We could kill them all. What did we accomplish by killing them all? Yeah, we stopped the war, but we killed more people. And you know, you keep looking for a way not to kill until you have to kill. You know, it's sort of like in Jackson, everybody needs to take time out today, if you own a firearm, and locate your firearm and know where it is. Good morning, Helen. You need to know where your firearms are. I mean, to think that the city of Jackson did not know where their firearms were, and they were used in a triple murder, you know, that didn't make national news. A guy drowning, which that report comes out at 8 this morning, and we'll find out why they think that some crime was committed. But on the subject of your guns, do you know where your guns are? We should all have tried Solvent Green. Lloyd Travis. We all just have Solvent Green. Okay. Isn't that a band too, Lloyd Travis? But I mean, it's interesting to me that you just think about things and you go, okay, we got all these kids running around with guns. Well, the kids, I don't know where they're getting the money, okay, but to buy them. But are they using guns that are already owned by people in their house? So the responsible owner of that gun needs to be responsible for the gun, need to know where it's at. And if you're an adult and you own a gun, you should know where it is. Even if you're an adult and you own a gun and you're not legally allowed to carry a gun, you should know where your gun is. That's period it. And it should be put up to where it'll be safe. I saw the news report on, and they were in Rankin County talking to the sheriff department there about guns that people been breaking into cars and stealing guns. I mean, look, allegedly in Rankin County, every car has a gun. I mean, when I was growing up, every truck, you could leave your windows down on your truck, and your rifles would be sitting in the back window. We had a gun rack. Gun rack was part of a accessory in a car back then. We need, cars. I mean, it seems to me like when they make a car, they should put a place in the car for you to put the gun. Now, wouldn't that make sense? A place that's specially made for the gun. That way, when you got pulled over by an officer, the officer, you would say you have a weapon, and you say yes, and you go to the weapon drawer to get out your weapon, and they could come up with the procedure for when you go into the weapon drawer to get your gun. And everybody would understand that that's what you were doing if you were going to show them your weapon. But, that all makes too much sense. And you have too many people trying to get rid of guns. We can't get rid of guns. It's gotten to a point now, everybody needs to be strapped up with a gun, because you can't protect yourself without one. I mean, you don't take a gun to a knife fight. I promise you. I don't care how much Chuck Norris you believe. You don't take a gun to a knife fight, And then the drive-by shooting, that if responsible gun owners knew where these guns were, then maybe we wouldn't have people running around shooting them. Kids. It's kids. It's kids. And the funny thing about it is a lot of these kids aren't old enough to have driver's license, much less have gone through now you got to go through a course. You got to go through driver's ed in order to get a license these days. I hope that helps. The thing that would help would be to tell some of these ladies that have hair weaves and nails that when you're on the phone, you don't need to be FaceTiming and talking on the phone, drinking coffee. You need one hand to put on the wheel. You need one hand, because your thick thighs can't, your thick thighs aren't going to let you help turn the wheel. It's amazing to me how stupid the world has become. And the things that we've inherited in our life, which is freedom, is the most valuable thing we have. That and the vote. We don't vote. 17% of us, we all inherited the right to vote. Okay. We all inherited that right to vote because we were born in America. And then that's the way it should work. Maybe in order to prove your citizenship, you have to, your parents have to have been here in the country, and they were Americans, and then you would inherit you would put it in your will. Your inheritance would be your right to vote. You hand it down, right? Hand it to the next person. That would keep up with it a little bit. And then if you didn't have parents that were legal in America, then more than likely, if you were, you're not an American and you can't vote. And that's just the way it's supposed to be, until you go through the process of becoming a legal citizen. It's not that hard to figure out, Mr. Politicians. You go, Chip, you don't understand. We got to do this. We got to make these people happy to make those people happy. No, all you have to do is do what's right each and every time. When you pick up the rules of the game are the rules of the games for both sides, and there is no gray area when you go to read them. If there is gray area, fix the language to get rid of the gray area. It would be nice if some of us Mississippians who haven't been able to get into office or have not run for office, but they still vote, that's 17% of us, if we could go out and teach people to just vote in a ballot initiative to where they can try to see that the government is willing to work and change. But with no ballot initiative in Mississippi, all our rights I mean, and I don't understand why that isn't a lawsuit against the state of Mississippi that they are running the government, a rogue government. Because if the people have no voice in the government, then something's wrong, right? That's a rogue government. But then again, of course, we live in under socialism here in Mississippi. We live in the world of Benny Thompson, correct? I mean, Benny Thompson runs the state. Benny Thompson is the Democrat that brings, for every dollar we send up there, he makes sure we get another dollar. So a dollar becomes $2. And in Mississippi, you know, all I got to do is I can stir it up real quick. I'm Benny Thompson. I run this place. Y'all, that's just got to end. They started talking about redistricting. Oh, no. And when they started talking about voter ID, they said, we got it in Mississippi. And the way we do it is the right way. Well, no, it isn't the right way. Because if, for instance, I could go in tomorrow into or rather on election day, I could go in and vote on election day and say my name was Governor Reeves. I could put it on there. I'm Governor Reeves. And I say, well, where's your ID? I don't have my ID. So you can vote for governor. You can vote as Governor Reeves, and it gets put in. It's an affidavit ballot. It gets put to the side. Then I can call Governor Reeves and say, look, I know you put in a vote here. I'll pay you $20 if you'll go up there and walk in and show your ID. Then they'll count the vote. That's the way it works. So if you had 10 brothers and sisters that did not vote or were dead or whatever, you know, but you had their IDs, then you could come back over the next few days, the next 5 days after an election, and walk in with that ID, because nobody looks like their ID. And they bring in the ID, and then you could vote those 10 times with variations of it. You walk in and say, "Oh, I'm trans here. Here's my ID. It's my sister's, but it's really me." You know, it's that easy to cheat the system. And then when the computers put people on the rolls, and then of course the election commissioners try to purge the rolls, but we have some election commissioners that don't care to purge the rolls because they're all in bed with each other. And of course the supervisors ultimately have the last word on everything that the election commission does in each county. You know, you can't make this stuff up. The system would work perfectly if people would just do their jobs. If people wouldn't worry about, the whole thing about you call balls and strikes. It's like a judge. A judge is supposed to call balls and strikes. Yeah, you can do that. No, you can't do that. Yeah, you can do that. No, you can't do that. No, you can't introduce that information. Yes, you can introduce that information. You're not allowed to come in and just lie. And that's the way the voting rolls should work. We have an ID. You vote. You can't show up to vote on election day and don't have your ID, you don't vote. It's that simple. It is that simple. And you do understand when you bring in your ID to vote, the only thing they can look at is the picture and your name. They can't look at your address and where you're from and where and anything else. If it's government issued ID, they hand it to you and that's it. You can vote with it. And that's any government. You know, if I gave you one from Zimbabwe with my picture and my name on it, all you look at is my picture and my name. That's just the way it is. And people would say, no, they're down there, Chip, you got that confused. No, I don't have that confused. And in a lot of cases, you know, that's the way you vote. Or if you walk in on election day without an ID, you're going to get to vote. You get to vote. Whether or not that vote's going to count comes down to whether or not you bring back an ID that has your picture and your name on it. And if you bring it back and it has a picture on there and it looks kind of like you, more than likely they're going to accept it. I mean, I don't look anything like my ID. And with 8-year-old ID, I mean, we got, you can get your license, I think 8 years now. And, you know, A lot of people don't look like their ID anymore. It's something to think about. Sooner or later, we'll get rid of the IDs. We'll say, we don't need those anymore. We don't need IDs. By getting rid of IDs and licensing, we will be a much better place, right? Sort of like when we got rid of inspection stickers on cars. Everybody was just cheating anyway. Never mind, we were getting $5 for them, I think. But back then, cars didn't drive around and bright light you. All the lights are in your eyes now. You can't see when you're driving. Everybody runs into that. I mean, blue lights on a police car, they've got some versions of those things that will just blind you completely. We all know that. We've all seen it. But without proper inspections and proper adjustment to lights, there's not going to be anything done about it. But we'll be back with more right here on the Chip Matthews Show. And proper adjustment to lights, there's not going to be anything done about it.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is leveling up. A whole new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is now open at the Reservoir at Beethoven's Boardwalk in Ridgeland, right next door to Cock of the Walk. And the new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris will have all of your old favorites too, like the Acme Dynamite Balls and Garlic Knots, and the best specialty pizzas ever, like the Pig, the Sergeant Pepperoni, the Surf and Turf, and lots more. Come to the all-new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris location on the Res in Ridgeland, next door to Cock of the Walk.
Some people spend summer stressing over snacks. Smart people stop at Broad Street Baking Company. From smoked salmon dip to whipped feta and so much more, you can build your own snack tray, enjoy a cocktail, and grab a full-size dip to go. Beach day, boat day, game night, or backyard hang, Broad Street has summer covered. Take home all of your favorites from the grab-and-go cooler. Broad Street Baking Company in Banner Hall. We'll handle the snacks. You enjoy the summer.
Hi, this is Rita Jensen with Remax Connection, and I want to tell you, I've lived in Florida for over 50 years. I'm a graduate of Tri-County Academy, went there the first day the doors opened. If you're thinking about putting your children into Tri-County Academy and need a place to live, then give me a call. Without a doubt, the Florida expert when it comes to real estate. So if you need a place to live, give me a call. Rita Jensen, Remax Connection. 601-720-4037 or go to my website, ritajensen.net.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Bar and Grill in Ridgeland for their Blue Plate lunch specials. Served up every weekday, at McBee's is a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate lunch comes with 2 classic southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
You can show your pride and patriotism in honor of the 250th birthday of this great nation by proudly flying a flag. And a complete flag source on I-55 in Jackson is the place to find it. All sizes for all purposes. And they have the official 250-year celebration flag. Have a look at CompleteFlags.com. That's CompleteFlags.com.
This is Demario Davis from the New Orleans Saints. As a Brandon, Mississippi native, I've seen the positive effects Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge has across the state. Help us restore broken families and fight against addiction by donating an unneeded vehicle, even if it doesn't run. Mercy House will pick it up for you. All paperwork is handled and you receive a tax deduction. Call 601-572-7296 or visit vehicledonationsms.com.
Thank you for helping us get our daddies back.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best, Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond.
Are you thinking about your next vehicle purchase? Hi, I'm Casey Ellis, owner of Ellis Autoplex in Brandon. If you've been searching for a clean diesel or half-ton truck, your search is over. At Ellis Autoplex, we specialize in the vehicles people actually want. Whether you're upgrading, buying your first truck, or looking for something the big dealerships don't have, Ellis Autoplex is worth the drive. Stop by and see why more and more people across the Southeast are choosing Little Truck City. Follow us on Facebook or shop online at ellisautoplex.com.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here is your host, Chip Matthews.
It is the Chip Matthews Show, 6:55 a.m. Coming up at 7:07, the one, the only, the Clay Edwards Show, right here on WYAB, and also on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, everywhere, all the normal places in the world where we're all everywhere all the time now. Yeah, I mean, my comments. I mean, all day long, people make comments on the show from the every day, and it's unreal. Y'all think about what you're inheriting. Think about what you're leaving your kids, and think about what you're doing when you go to. I mean, you know, the house is one thing, the jewelry is one thing, the car is one thing, but when they inherit your lifestyle and they inherit the things that they grow up around, that's your responsibility. That is why that technically, in the world of court system, in the court system, you created that monster. I mean, look at the Hobbs family. I don't know what their parents were like, but there's 3 of them, and they should be responsible for their actions. The family, the people, it's sad to say you need to do that, but you know, if you're not trying to get your child help when they go astray, you need to do everything within your power to try to get them help. But if your kid goes out and commits murder, your kid's going out, I mean, breaking up things, you see the houses that are being built and people go in there and just tear them up. You see community centers torn up. You see all these kids that are gathering up in one place and just tearing up a parking lot or tearing up this. You know, those things cost money. And people that own businesses, you know, the next day they have to clean up to get ready to go again because they're trying to make it happen. And people have no values. If you cannot at least let your kids inherit some values in life, then you should go to the state and say, look, I can't do anything. You're going to have to take these responsibilities off of me. I mean, that's the way it seems to be, because if you don't take the responsibility off of them, the government's going to take them for you and put your kid in jail. Right? We're building 2 new jails just to hold them. They ain't going to be big enough. They are not going to be big enough. So today, go find your firearm. Let's see if we can solve one problem in Mississippi today. Go find your firearm that's registered to you, that you own legally, and put it up. If you're a parent and you have an illegal gun in your house, go find your gun and put it up. Start a way to keep up with what's going on. Everybody should have the right to have a gun. Everybody should have a gun. I mean, that's just the way I see it. But the truth of the matter is, you got responsible gun ownership. And then when you look at your kid, hey, you got to raise that kid. That can't be a weed. You can't be another weed out there. The weeds are what's causing the problem in the world. I mean, look at the roads that we drive on. We got roads that need to be fixed, and then we got the weeds that the supervisors are supposed to be cutting, and they don't get them cut because they've hired people from their family who are weeds like them, who don't care if it gets cut. They're not responsible for it. Well, it ain't gonna get done. I don't care. Just like the ditch inspector from Madison County, who doesn't go and check culverts and doesn't check potholes and doesn't have, but everybody got paid. Everybody got paid. How do you get paid when you don't do the work? How do you get paid when you don't want to work? We ought to all go to the county and apply for a job. Say, look, we want to get one of those jobs where we get paid and don't have to work. Well, hold on. They're already doing that. That's called socialism. It's called living in Mississippi under Benny Thompson's rule, under Benny Thompson, who is running the Republicans. Don't ever think he's not running the Republicans. He's running our government from top to bottom, because that's what's going on. Don't say, you never hear them talk bad about Benny. No, not the elected officials. No. Clay Edwards Show is next on WYAB.